Now, Atom Audio is well known for providing accurate and reliable monitoring solutions, and so their H200s are definitely worth checking out. Hi everybody, I'm Todd and I hope you're having a great day. You know, the H200 are Atom Audio's first headphones that are completely designed and engineered in-house. So they're built from the ground up to their specifications. And based on my experience with Atom monitoring solutions, I have high expectations here. So when they asked me to check them out, I was very interested to see how they would perform. Now, all the audio in this review is going to be recorded using my binaural microphone, and I encourage you to wear the best headphones or a great monitoring solution that you have to get the best experience. Now, once again, as this is 2025, I've stopped including the audio of the Sine sweep, but as you can see from the graph comparison here on a logarithmic basis, the recording through the H200 versus the direct Sine sweep are very similar here. A little bit of a dip in the 5 to 6K range, bump in the 7 to 8K range. Overall here, though, this is a pretty faithful representation. When we switch over to linear, you can see a little more detail of the variances in those upper frequencies, but overall, this comparison actually is very consistent. Now, looking at the logarithmic analysis here for the headphone recording versus the direct recording, we can see for music, again, these are very consistent. There's a little bit of activity in that 5 to 8K range, but overall, I'm going to say these headphones do a very good job of reproducing music. Yes, there'll be some slight variances in imaging, and of course, hearing the binaural microphone through your headphones, again, is going to make a bit of a difference. Nonetheless, this is quite consistent. Go to the linear analysis, again, we just see that little bit extra detail. Overall, though, very good for music. Now, looking at the overlay comparison, we can see here very minimal deviation below 1.5K, a little bit up and down. Then in that 5 to 8K range, we do get the dip and then the slight boost, followed by a roll-off above 10K, but certainly nothing alarming here. Looking at the linear analysis, again, a little more detail in those upper frequencies, but really this is a pretty faithful reproduction from the H200 versus the direct file. Now, I've loaded up Isotope's audio lens so we can compare the music recorded through the H200 versus the original file dynamically. And so on screen, you'll see the purple region, that is the original recording, and you'll have a white dynamic line that'll be the recording you're hearing from the H200s.
Polaroids all scattered across the dusty floor in the backseat of my Chevy 58, along with bits of candy wrappers. Looking back to when our castle was a shack, vacation was making figure eights in the parking lot. Remember when we used to forgive more than we forgot? Polaroids all scattered across the dusty floor in the backseat of my Chevy 58, along with bits of candy wrappers. Looking back to when our castle was a shack, vacation was making figure eights in the parking lot. Remember when we used to forgive more than we forgot?
If I wrote you a song, if I got every word perfectly weighted on a thin piece of paper, would it make any difference? Would it change for the better if I wrote you a poem, if I posted a letter? If I wrote you a song, if I got every word perfectly weighted on a thin piece of paper, would it make any difference? Would it change for the better if I wrote you a poem, if I posted a letter?
Now looking at the analysis for male vocal, we can see here again, both the logarithmic and linear analysis show this to be very consistent. Little variance in that 5 to 8K range, consistent with the other tests, but overall here did a great job on male vocals. Moving over to female vocals, again here we can see very consistent representation between the original recording and the recording made through the headphones, both linear and logarithmic. And so for female vocals, again, these headphones do a very good job. And this is a sample of spoken words, so we can compare the sound of the recording directly versus the sound through the headphones. And this is a sample of spoken words, so we can compare the sound of the recording directly versus the sound through the headphones. Now the spoken word analysis, again, very consistent from the original recording versus that made through the H200. I'm going to say there's negligible difference here. Going over the linear comparison, again, very little difference. So for spoken words, you're going to get consistent, accurate reproduction through the H200. Now, I don't believe gaming was a priority when Atom Audio designed the H200s, but nonetheless, I know many of you do use your headphones for mixed use cases. So let's check out some game audio recorded through these headphones.
Save me! Human attack!
Now, I did spend some time gaming on these headphones to test them out, and I have to say that they perform very well. They provide good sound isolation and an immersive environment. And so you really get into the game, you lose track of the space that you're in. And overall, the performance for transients is excellent as well. So those explosions right down to those very quiet footsteps are really produced accurately and forcefully where needed. And so for gaming, I'm going to say these are a great option. They may not be a gaming specific headphone, but they certainly outperform a lot of gaming headphones that I've tried. Now, Atom Audio provides a headphone plugin along with the H200. You have to sign up for My Atom and register the headphones to gain access. But once you do, you're going to get this plugin that I have on screen, and it has a couple of features. It has an externalization feature, which is really meant to address the idea of extreme stereo separation, where we have everything in the right ear, everything in the left ear. This uses an algorithm to bleed some of the right into the left and the left into the right, to give you a little more realistic idea of what you'd be listening to on speakers. And then they have a voicing option here. They have what they call pure, which is essentially their version of flat. And so the idea is for mixing, mastering, critical listening. They want you to give you as flat as possible while hearing all of the details. And then they have UNR, which is their uniform natural response. If you have Atom Audio monitors, you may have seen this before on the back of them, the ones that have DSP. And the idea here is it matches kind of the profile of some of their legacy products. And they say it's a very dynamic, natural sounding response curve. So, I mean, I'm going to set this at pure and then UNR, and I'll switch back and forth. They give you options here. There's a gain compensation as well, equal loudness or safe mode, so you don't get too loud. I'm going to put it on equal loudness just so that we're not getting any bias from that. And what I've also done here is I've set up decibel, so you'll be able to see things like the image and the balance that's going through here. And the idea, again, you're listening to the audio that's being sent through the headphones. See, also we can choose full leather or soft cloth pads. I have the full leather on mine, so that's what we're going to get. So let's go ahead. I'm going to start some audio and we'll see what we get. Now, in terms of soundstage and imaging, performance here on the H200 is also very, very good. Again, we have headphones that provide excellent isolation. They seal up really well, but yet soundstage is expansive, pushing things out quite a ways, and imaging performance is consistent, both to my ears and also to measurements that I've taken. So if that's something important to your workflow, these are going to get the job done when you're not in an environment where you can use open backs or studio monitors. Now, we'll take a look at the build quality of the H200, and first of all, I'm going to say that the quality of these, the materials, the fit and finish is superior to many headphones that are far more expensive. Now, definitely there is plastic included in here to cut down on some of the weight, but they have an aluminum headband. They're very solid, good clamping force, not excessive. Not a whole lot of swivel in the headphones from side to side. I didn't have trouble getting them to fit. They have plenty of extension on both sides here, and it's positive. They lock in place. You're not going to have issues with them coming in and out of adjustment here. Now, the ear pads are very nice, soft memory foam with a good synthetic leather on them. Same thing for the headband, so comfort again, very good. If you're sensitive in terms of pressure on the sides of your head or on top of your head, you're going to like these headphones, but yet they seal up very well. They have a lot of attenuation here, more than 40 dB in my measurements, and so even for drumming applications, you could use these, and they're actually going to outperform many so-called drum isolation headphones. And so that to me was an excellent thing. Again, without being uncomfortable. I also didn't find them overly warm. They are a closed back design, but I've used them for some long sessions and I had no issues. Now the cable is detachable and it has a twist to lock in place. And so you're not going to have problems with it coming in and out on you, any issues that way. Overall, I'm going to say very positive there in terms of the way it sits in there. You can see like it's pretty tight. Now, that said, it's recessed. As you can see, I have a little tough time getting in there to tighten it up into place, but once it's there, it's good to go. Cable quality is also excellent here. This feels premium. And the plug on the end has a threaded connector for the included 1/4-inch adapter. That's something I always like to see. So just a pet peeve where they pull out all the time if you're using 1/4-inch. So overall, I'm going to say build quality here is very good. You can expect to get a lot of hours out of these. Now, Atom Audio is very thorough and detailed with their specifications, and I'm not going to go through them all here. But a few things to just keep in mind is, of course, these are a closed-back over-ear dynamic design. They're 32 ohm impedance with great sensitivity performance. You're going to be able to use them with just about anything that you want to. Overall, the sound here I found to be very balanced. They state the response of 2 to 23,500 hertz. I'm going to say that's conservative probably on their basis. And overall materials here are good quality. So again, for more details, look at the link below in the description. You can get all the information you need if you're into specs. Now, after spending a lot of time with these headphones and going through the tests, I'll give you my final thoughts on them. First of all, if you're looking for an accurate set of headphones for critical listening, mixing, mastering, use in a studio environment, these are an excellent choice. They have very accurate representation of the sound, and so they're going to help you make good decisions. If you're looking for a headphone you can wear for a long period of time and be comfortable, I'm going to say they're good that way too. They don't have the breathability of an open back design, but I didn't find them excessively warm. Now, a couple things I didn't mention in the review. The cable can be switched between the left and the right side, so you can choose which one you want to connect it to. And they also include a very nice quality soft pouch. Now, I'm not going to say they're transportable, they don't fold up, but there's additional padding in here and the materials feel good. So that's something you're going to get here as well. Overall, performance here in terms of sound quality, transients, soundstage, imaging, and frequency response, as we did quite a number of tests with here, is very good. So I highly recommend you check these headphones out if you need an accurate reference solution. And of course, there are many options for headphones depending on your use case. So if you want to check out some others, have a look at one of the videos on the screen. As always, I appreciate you joining me, and I'll catch you next time.